Hi, Godwin.
Hi, Luca. Nice to meet
Welcome
you.
to SuperGuidaTV. You presented your new album Atonement. What is your atonement?
Uh, Great question. My or the idea behind atonement is driven by love.
Hmm.
And I felt like the first song, for instance, on the album is very much a song focused on forgiveness. And I felt like I needed to forgive a lot of things that had been done in my past, a lot of people that I had problems with, so that I could fully go into love as an idea. Or as a thing in general. So yes, it's love. It's inspired by love. You know, everything that had to happen for me to fully learn how to love someone. So yeah, it's very much inspired by love.
Okay, love. So, it's the first time for you in Italy, and yesterday
Yes.
you had a stunning concert in Alcatraz in Milan. Can you
Yes.
tell me your emotions about last night?
My emotions are so full that they carry me to this very morning. I'm so happy with how it went last night. It's my first time in Italy and in Milan. It was such a great privilege because, for instance, when we started playing, the people had not come in yet. And, from the first song, you could see so much support, people coming in. And you would imagine that they came to see me. I'm very sure a lot of people there don't even know me as a musician. It was the first experience, but the energy was that such that they came to support my music, and it's such a beautiful thing to see. And I really look forward to being back here in the city and playing here again. Yeah, that's a incredible, incredible support
Okay,
for good music.
okay.
Um,
Let's stay in Italy. Do you like Italian music? Do you know any Italian singer?
I don't know a lot of Italian music, but I started my research yesterday, and I think the next time we have this interview, I would be telling you a lot about Italian music because I'm very, very excited about everything.
Okay, there's time. There's time to improve
Yes.
your Italian knowledge. Okay.
Yes.
Since we got a deep soul, I think you got a deep soul. I think I could ask you a more sensitive question. Okay,
Yeah.
what should the world atone for? What's
Hmm.
the atonement for the world?
For the word.
What's the scene?
Yeah.
You talked about
I am.
love for your
Yeah. Yeah.
personality,
Yeah.
but about word?
Yeah. I think the greed of mankind is something that we need an atonement for, and I think that's gonna fix a lot of things. I come from a very interesting country where people steal to the extent where they steal too much that they cannot even spend in a lifetime or in 3, 5 generations. So I think yeah, there's such a need for that because if that is yeah, yeah, the greed of mankind, I guess.
Yeah, you grew up in Nigeria, and but you had to leave your country to make art. Okay, what was it like separating from it, and how much do you need to return every now to recharge your soul?
So in hindsight, I have not even been very much separated from the country
Yeah,
because currently I live between Abuja, which is Nigeria,
yeah,
and then I'm in Frankfurt, which is Europe, and of course I'm always here when I need to work, but also I can equally be back home, and it's such a great privilege because it keeps me informed of why I do what I do.
yeah.
It keeps me grounded. It keeps me seeing the people that I started with. And all of this is necessary for growth to happen, that you always remember why you're doing what you're doing. So yes, it's a privilege that I hold very close to my heart.
Many people say that music saves lives. Okay, how do you think this applies to your personal experience and more generally to the people of your country?
I think music saves lives, definitely. And if I would reference my country, for instance, we are one of the happiest people you would ever come across. If you have a Nigerian in the room, you might definitely know that the Nigerian is in the room somewhere. Nigerian people are compassionate, kind, and try to, include everybody or be very um, noticed,
Okay.
loud as well. But equally, we also have the trouble of the country, which is like, it's not in the best way it should be. There's so many things that are not going right. But also, if you look deep within, we're a country that enjoys music. It's a very cultural country filled with so much beautiful music. And it's something we thrive in because you see it on a global scale. Some of the biggest artists from, Sub-Saharan Africa, from, from Nigeria. So music is something that keeps us happy. And it's one of the biggest sources of hope for the country at large, to see some people come from the country and do so well outside it, but also to enjoy their music. Yeah, it keeps the country going. So music is the biggest source of hope for where I come from, I think.
Okay. Now let's go back to your album. You're also a filmmaker. If this
Yeah.
new album were a movie, would you give it a happy ending?
No, I think it would remain how the album is, which is with a uncertain ending. You don't know what happens next. And I think the last song of the album is called Permit Me because I needed it to be a question. It's a request that he asks the other character, and it's up to her to say yes or no. We can imagine she says yes and it goes in the same circle again, but it's also open-ended and say she doesn't want to go through that again. So yeah, I would leave it very much open-ended as it is with the music.
And now the final question: what happy ending would you give to your life, to your career?
Happy ending is that it becomes easier for Africans who make arts of all sorts of forms to access not just global audience, but opportunities that, are not being granted onto them to explore art and do it to the fullness of their capacity in their lifetime. And, people being able to also afford the living through art on a global scale because it's a very hard time. People who have the industries who kind of like create the machineries are the ones getting so much from things that the artists are creating. So in my if it was up to me to write a book, I would try to make sure that the artists are comfortable, are comfortable in the sense that I'll say, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Godwin. Have a good
Thank you.
luck for your life, for your career,
Thank
and
you very
see you
much.
next time
Thank
in
you.
Italy. Okay?
Yes. See you next
Thank you.
time. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye, 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 Godwin.